So this is marked up. I'll put a magnifier over it and hopefully that'll show up. It's 220 volts, 70 watt soldering iron, and it's temperature controlled, up and down controls there, and a little LCD. It was about £6 off the internet, but it comes with an American flat pin plug on it. It is supplied with an adapter, so then that can fit into one of these. Obviously not the UK, but that's okay, because you can get adapters for the UK which let you plug EU or American, that will go straight into that. So you can get adapters, that's not a problem, they're not expensive. It starts getting very messy in Heath Robinson now. Here are some other types of adapters. I think this is Australian, that's American. This is French or EU Spanish, because it's got the earth hole and the perimeter earth. And this is obviously UK. So you can make up all sorts of bits and pieces of adapters if you wish, as has been done here. Now, a couple of points from this. That's a UK outlet, and that's an American plug. Why? I don't know, this isn't mine. And trying to wrap leads up like this is quite a mess. So something that you might want to consider, grab the two business ends and you can buy packets of rubber bands like this for less than £1, less than €1, dollar, whatever, and then just wrap up your cables to keep them tidy and not knotted. It even works with thick, heavy-duty cables. And the great thing about it is if you need a bit more than you've got, if I wanted to plug it in over there, just pull out more as is needed from either end. And if you lose a rubber band, it doesn't matter, there's another 1,000 sat in there. So now that I've got these out, obviously you can make up your own cable that will convert, in this case, from French to British. You've got to connect those somehow or other, and a common way of doing that is with the connector blocks. Not particularly secure and safe, there's no stress release on them, so if they're yanked they could be pulled apart. There is a better way, and that is to connect up to a multi-standard main socket. In this case, this one's also got USB, so you could get your salvaged mains cable with whatever plug fitting you wanted and connect it up into a multi-standard mains outlet. In this case, you'd probably be as well to get a UK surface mount box. This is just for a standard device, so there's no extra space in it, but you can get deeper ones. which allows you to fit other things in, including, and I've got in my hand here, which is a mains controller. It's a light dimmer or a brushed motor speed controller. It reduces the mains power by, I'll show you the zero crossing point later, but the point is, if you have a larger box, you can actually fit this inside with your socket on the outside, as I have done here. Get rid of some of this. So that is a standard computer type of input connector, such as you would find on an old desktop computer. You can actually buy these connectors by the bag full. I think this was less than £2 for 10 of them, and to fit it is quite simple. So here's a cardboard template I cut out to fit one of these. It's not so easy to cut that out just by marking it, but get a bit of cardboard, fold it in half and cut it until you get half of your item that fits in quite nicely, and you can open it out and draw around exactly where you want it and then cut it out with however you want to deal with that. You don't have to fit it, of course. You can buy inline connectors that come out from a cable. The reason I'm saying about these is because although all these other standards exist for the different countries, look at these, they are all with the same standard IEC kettle plug, as they're called, which it's these. So if you have standard computer lead for your country, let me find, here's a UK one, so UK plug at that end, but it will fit in this case. So if you have a French one, whatever your country's standard is, you can connect up to this neat box, and then any of your output connectors that you want can go in. In this case, this one is switched and it has a mains indicator, and I've fitted the speed controller. Another one here is perhaps easier to do because you've got a lot more space. This one's got the flying cable coming out to the input, and it's got an extra. I'll explain that in a second. With a British plug, it sits on the switch, but it doesn't impede it. You can still operate the switch. There are other types with other types of switches, or with no switch. So I'm pointing it out, depending on what type of plugs you've got to go into your thing. You might want to give that consideration. I quite like that, but it's also got all the different standards, but in one compact connector. Whereas that looks a right complicated mess. The other thing about a larger box is you've got no overheating or access problems. Make sure that you, in this case I just tie a big knot to stop that coming out, but that's not the best. I should perhaps fit one of these, but maybe one day.